2020 is going to be the year of futures. Talking about what my plan is, how I'm going to be trading futures, what I'm going to be doing, and all of that fun stuff right here in this video. So if you want to learn more, make sure you stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about futures in general and what I'm going to be focused on. I know I've made some videos in the past, but I just kind of want to make an overall video of why I'm trading futures and talk about the overall process, etc. in this video. Now, the number one thing that I do already enjoy or like about futures is there's plenty of liquidity. Now, there's just always going to be volume. There's always going to be somebody trading up, down, all around. It's not like trading with small caps where you're just going to get dumped on. Obviously, there's going to be volatile movements in the market and things like that. 99% of the time when you enter a trade, you're able to get out with minimal slippage. And I say minimal because there's always a chance of slippage, but in general, almost 99% of the time, and I guess I can't say this as a fact, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get some crazy halt or some crazy dump and out of nowhere. It's just going to be like more consistent with the moves. So I really am enjoying that fact that when I enter a trade, I can set my stop loss and have that as like, okay, this is my risk, this is my reward, I'm cutting it off at this point and I'm getting out. And that's kind of just one very different aspect of trading futures over trading small cap, low float, penny type stuff where you're, all of a sudden you buy a stock at $3 and it crashes at $2.50 out of nowhere for no real reason other than just the algorithm or somebody wanted to dump it. And that's the difference here. That's the big difference. I think a lot of people, when you first start trading, this can really help you as a day trader, being able to enter your trades and know exactly, okay, this is my cutoff, this is my loss, and this is my profit target. Also, another thing that I really do enjoy about futures is there's no guessing, there's no scanning, there's no taking tons of time to find hot stocks. You focus on really just kind of one instrument. I'm focusing on the S&P 500, which is going to be the E-minis or the micro E-minis. That's all I'm focusing on. That's what I got pulled up behind me. I can kind of get into a rhythm knowing, okay, this was the previous high yesterday. This was the low yesterday. This is what's going on support-wise. We bounced off this support a couple days ago, and you start to learn these things just by kind of trading it and seeing how these things move. And that's one thing, again, about trading futures is when you're trading futures, you're only focused on very, one or two different instruments, maybe only one. Maybe you're focused on oil and the S&P. It depends, whatever works best for you, but I do really enjoy that fact. I will still be trading equities in 2020, but my real, I think my focus here, I'm liking the idea of having futures. For those reasons I already listed, but I also do like it for the reason that I can trade basically all day in that sense, where a lot of times with equities, we might have a day where there's no big movers, nothing really happening. But with futures, there's kind of always opportunities. There might not always be an opportunity every single minute of every single day, but most days there's going to be an opportunity to enter a trade and exit a trade. One of the things that I'm really focused on, again, is maximizing my profit, minimizing my losses, and controlling those losses and, controlling my winners. So my goal for entering a trade and exiting a trade is very simple. I'm entering a trade at trend changes. I made a video talking about that already this week. You watched that video. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you check it out. Talking about trend changes, entering, exiting trades based on the overall trend changing. So my focus is looking for trend changes. My second goal here is, like I said, profit loss. I'm entering a trade with the idea of making 3 to 4 handles per trade. I'm exiting the trade with the idea of risking one handle. And you might say, well, what's a handle, Patrick? A handle is basically a $1 move on the S&P futures on the E-minis. So if it goes from 3,220 to 3,221, that's one handle. That's one handle. A tick is basically 25, 50, 75, and then the full 4 tick moves. So you got 4 25-cent moves inside of a handle, but I'm looking for handles here. I want to get handles to get profit. Now, what I like about this is I can enter a trade. I can risk $50. One handle move on a single E-mini contract is going to be a $50 move. So I'm risking $50 for a possible $150 to $200 move in profit. Now, one thing that I've noticed the last couple days trading, when I have been entering trades, I've been taking profit a little early. I need to have a little bit more patience. That's going to come. The problem here is if I'm going to be trading with this idea of risking one handle for three handle in profit, I have to let my trades work out. Because let's say this, the other night I made 4 trades. I took profit at 2 handles, 2.5 handles, and 3 handles multiple times, 3 times in a row. I was correct in those trades 3 times. So out of that trade, I risked 1 handle per trade. I risked total of 3 handles. I ended up making close to 6 to 7 handles off of that risk to reward profile. Now, the thing here is each of those moves went for 7 to 10 handles. Now, I know in hindsight, it's easy to sit here and say, well, you know, I could have done this, could have done that. But I need to make sure that if I'm entering a trade, I'm letting that trade do its thing. If it goes 5, 6, 7, 8 handles, that's much better for me because, why? That means I can lose more trades and still be in the green. I'm not planning on losing, you know, I don't want to lose, but there's going to be days where I'm just not going to be able to really take those profits that I'm looking for, and I'm going to have losers. There's going to be days where I'm going to have a red day. I'm going to lose based on this strategy, and it's going to happen. Even if I'm 80% correct, you know, 90% correct, 60, 70% correct, having those losers kind of just add up, but I'm not letting my winners run. Those losers are going to eclipse my profits because, again, I'm not letting that risk to reward work its way out. I'm not getting that full 3, 4 handle move when I'm risking 1 handle. Very simple idea. And that's what I like about futures is, again, I'm not having to go and do something crazy and figure out like what's going on and read the news. I'm just focused on the move. Another thing that I'm focused on, I would highly suggest this, if you're going to be trading futures, stay away from like 8:30 till 9 in the morning, or make sure there's no numbers coming out. In the morning, normally between like 8 a.m. and like 9:30, numbers come out on the overall market or whatever, you know, job numbers and different indexes, different numbers come out, housing sales. There's numbers that come out that can make the market be really volatile for a minute or two. And that might not mean that the market's going to go that way long term on that day. Like let's say you get a big spike, all of a sudden we pull back. That isn't a big deal in the bigger picture. It might give you an idea kind of, okay, this sets the tone for the day. But those moves that happen when those numbers come out, they don't mean that's exactly how the market's going to move. Or, you know, you don't want to be in a trade, be in the green, and then all of a sudden get some number come out and get squeezed out and end up losing profit. So I stay away from trading between those hours, at least if I know there's a number coming out. If there's numbers coming out, I stay away from it. Another thing that I'm really focused on here is if I'm trading and there's just not a clear trend, we're getting a lot of volatility, a lot of whipsaw, up, down, all around, we're not getting that good, solid trend, then I'm just staying away from it. Because there's no point in me chasing or no point in me trying to jump into that volatility. If the market doesn't know which way it wants to go and it's just bouncing all over the place, forget it. I'm just going to stay out of it. I'm going to wait for that clear trend change. It might not happen. You might just get a solid trend all day where the stock's just going higher and higher and higher. And maybe I can enter, you know, on a pullback, identifying that trend. But I'm really looking for overall changes in the trend because I feel like that's my edge right now, looking for those opportunities, having that patience and waiting for that opportunity to arise. And again, another thing you got to really be focused on here is if I'm going to be taking those trades, if I'm taking a trade that I have identified as a consistently solid opportunity to maximize my risk to reward, if that trade sets itself up, if that opportunity arises, I have to take the trade and I have to let it do its thing. Like I said, if I enter a short and I get to 3 or 4 handles, but the market is not showing any bounce, there's no clear support, there's nothing actually showing a reason for the trend to change, I need to let my trades work themselves out. And that's really going to be crucial to being profitable here, is letting those trends work out. You know, if I'm trending lower, we're trending lower, there's no real reason to bounce, there's no support line, there's nothing going on in the chart, then I'm going to let it do its thing. So that's really my big focus from here on out, is maximizing my winners and, again, minimizing my losers. I made a video talking about the overall trend change and how I'm trading that recently, and you guys probably watched that, so you understand that's my strategy right now. But I just wanted to talk about what my strategy for trading futures is in 2020. I've said this before, I think trading futures is a very good idea. If you're a new trader, you're looking for experience, you're looking to get into the market, trading futures can be a very good way to do that. Now, obviously there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of, risk to that. But if you're trading the micro E-minis, the micro NASDAQ, the micro Dow, stuff like that, if you're trading the micros, you're risking very minimal. And you can open an account with like $400, $500, and you can trade every day, and you can move and see how the market moves, and you can learn about trading through that. And there's a lot of different websites. I'm using NinjaTrader. It works for me. I've not had any issues. So if you guys want to learn more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow along here. I'm going to be trading futures throughout 2020. I'll also be trading equities, but I wanted to kind of put this out there. That's my plan. That's what I'm going to be focused on. That 3-to-1, baby. I'm looking to risk 1 to make 3+. 3+. If I can do that consistently, and I can do that over and over, and I can still be wrong. I can be wrong 3 to 4 times in a row, and I can still be profitable here. That's what I'm focused on right now, the 3-to-1, and just the overall, just having patience and looking for the right opportunity when it arises. There it is. Trading futures 2020. Let's go.